working with the trailer, and I can't sit in the shop.
Right over there.
So big. That's one of the things that I got another one.
All right, let's call the meeting to order and rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Norma, the roll call for the town board, Plan Commission, Jeff Hill and Marshfield.
Yep. Deb?
Here.
Jeff?
Here.
Dave?
Here.
Nicole? Here. Rod?
Here.
Dorothy? Here. Bruce?
Here.
Ken Clark?
Here.
Chris Ortell? And Kelly Tiemanson?
Here.
Jeff Hill?
Yes.
And who's here for the Marshfield, from the Marshfield Council?
Josh Moritz. I'm not on the council, just so what are you from council?
Okay,
He's the engineer.
engineer. Okay.
All right, Mr. Hill, floor is yours.
First of all, thank you everybody for making the time for this. I guess the idea for me was just to get a better clarification along with Josh on the reasons that you're not interested in helping me out at all on getting the subdivision to access through St. Joseph's. I understand the traffic is possibly an issue. It doesn't seem to be an issue with like Meadow Avenue, which is a subdivision road that only enters and exits onto a city road. Every pump tank in the town of McMillan goes across the city to the wastewater treatment plant. It seems like the traffic is okay coming from town of McMillan through Marshfield, but not allowing that little stretch of my subdivision road to come out seems just seems unreasonable to me. So I'm just looking for some input.
What taxes does your subdivision pay for town of Mount?
I don't understand how that matters if the city of Marshfield is willing to take care of the maintenance of that road. I don't understand how that matters. What taxes does anybody on Meadow Avenue, a subdivision road, pay to Marshfield? It's a very comparable situation.
How many houses are on Meadow?
I don't know.
Houses and a church.
How many are down there, Rod, do you know?
I don't know the exact number now. It's
10, 11, maybe 12.
Something like that. But we take care of Meadow.
Maybe a question to Josh. Since when is annexed property from a township? Anything that's been annexed over the years has always been, the agreement was water and sewer. And my understanding from Mr. Hill is that some of these, if they don't park for a mound, they have to have holding tanks. Is that correct?
That's not a city requirement, but that's a sanitary requirement, right?
Then what changed that precedent? I guess anything that I've been involved with that has been annexed to the city of Marshfield has always been sewer and water.
Sewer, okay, can I answer that question or try to, Josh? The only way to gravity flow sewer is across Meadow Avenue through private properties of town of McMillan and across that town of McMillan road of Meadow. I would have to get an easement across there to tie into Prairie Run. The cost of that, the city and I agreed, was just far prohibitive. Not to mention the fact that I couldn't get approval from either the town of McMillan or the private homeowners to get those easements. The gravity just doesn't work back to Marshfield on that piece of property. When it was annexed, it was obviously before I owned it. The former owners, the Granders, annexed it, and I don't think they fully understood the gravity of doing that annexation as far as what it would do to that land, making it almost useless for anything else.
So have you tried annexing back into the town of McMillan?
That's been a conversation I've had with both Marathon County briefly with some people up on the stage up there and with the city of Marshall, yeah.
And
It's a process, it's a process.
just, you know, and I guess.
I have explored many, if not all options.
You have access to McMillan, correct?
I have access through one lot, that, although it's still in my name, I sold it already.
Okay, but at this point, you do have access, am I correct?
So that parcel is to the west of the LeGrander original house?
Correct. I wouldn't have enough for 2 accesses, which you need. It wouldn't be enough for me to get a road in and a road out, which is required. It'd be far beyond what anybody would allow for a 1 road in subdivision.
And there's, what, 17 lots in there?
Yeah.
All 2 acres and above, right?
No, they're between 1 and 3 acres.
1 and 3.
I think it depends on how much wetland is there, isn't it? Is that what it was? Isn't there some wetlands over that way?
There is, but that has nothing to do with the number of lots. I've had the conversation with the county of Marathon, with their zoning people about getting approvals for doing lots less than 2 acres. I understand the town of Millen's not interested in that, although Meadow is a great precedent in that those aren't 2 acre lots in there either.
Well, neither is my house, but it's been there for umpteen years. I'm on an acre.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Yeah.
there's precedent for a lot of these things that, both with the city and with the town of Millen, I just can't seem to get cooperation from both parties on the same subject matters.
Well, we have our own set of rules for the
I understand.
township compared to the county. So that's
Well-
where that goes.
Yeah, I mean, the town of Millen defers to county zoning on most issues. Seems like this is one that's been handpicked and no, we'll take care of this for ourselves, but
Has the land been perked at all to know whether it will take a mound or not?
it's been preliminarily perked, yeah.
Will it take it?
There are the furthest north lots, perhaps not. I haven't submitted any testing to the state for approvals yet. I try not to spend money on a subdivision I can't get approved yet on doing those things.
I just, for where you're
Yeah,
at.
most of those will. I would guess of the 16 or 17, I would guess 14 of them are probably gonna be mound systems. Which would be a pump every 3 years, you know.
But that's 3 years versus every month or month
Understood.
and a half, so.
Understood, yeah. I mean, Josh is here to kind of answer any questions on the 3 options that he laid out as a possible solution to this for you both.
Well, what bothers me about that is we're gonna be putting $1 million into that road next year. Okay, so as far as maintenance, it's costing the township approximately $300,000. There'll be no maintenance,
Yeah.
none. For
Okay.
probably, what, 5 years, except for plowing snow? So we're not getting anything back on any of that.
I think once if and when, or maybe whatever happens, those 17 lots, depending on, you know, the demographics and where those people are gonna go, they'd be coming back to the north on St. Joe's and take a man road, because rather than go down McMillan, they're always gonna go the path of least resistance, so
To go where?
to go to Walmart, Menards, and that sort of stuff, to that side of town, and
I
that's.
would be surprised about that, but that's up for debate. How is it any different than, I mean, how is it any different than anybody that takes that road to go to Menards? I live in the town of Lincoln and I go that way, should I not do that? Can we force all the, can we force those pump trucks to not go through the city of Marshfield, to go all the way around to get to the, you know, these are, to me, they're apples and apples comparisons, how it's not acceptable for it to go one way, but it's okay for everything to come the other way.
That's
I
not
think It's
true.
coming the other way.
How so?
That's not true, because Those 17 lots don't exist at this point.
No, I'm saying
So
here-
when you come through on Lincoln, or on Man Street, you've always come through that way. You just don't have to go through the bumps and holes that
No, what
she
I'm-
managed to get fixed. But under the circumstances, what you're doing is you're gonna add, and it's gonna be easy because Walmart, Quick Trip, Menards, everything is gonna be much more easily accessed by going down St. Joseph's to Man Street and then up on E, as opposed to going through a couple stoplights and having to go through the city. It has very little to do with the pump trucks. It has a lot to do with the traffic that's going to be created and destroy the roads.
So how do you then, so then there should be a sign up that, hey, if you don't live in the town of McMillan, please do not use these roads to go to Walmart.
No, you're adding 17 new people doing that. Actually, you're adding probably about 34 new
Every
people
house that's
because,
built in Marshfield, I could say the same thing for, just because they're there, if that's the path.
no,
of
this
least
is
resistance.
new.
Every new.
This
house in
is
Marshfield-
new.
Every new house in Marshfield is the same thing.
That's a bogus argument, you know it.
I'm sorry, what's your name, sir?
Dr. Bruce Weinman.
He's on the plan commission.
I'm on the
Okay,
plan
I
commission.
don't know anybody here, I'm sorry.
Well, they did a roll call, everybody answered, I answered, I said I was here.
But that doesn't mean I know who you are, sir. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't memorize everything.
So what difference does that make? But that's all right, I'm Dr. Bruce Weinman, that's who I am, so what difference does that make?
Well, I don't understand why you're so contentious about this, why are you getting so
Because
angry?
the town of McMillan gets absolutely nothing out of this, except we get more traffic on one of the roads that we have to keep up. That's it in a nutshell.
2 of the roads.
I got a question.
Yeah, 2 roads, actually.
My name is Greg Kiefer, I live on Red Hall.
Yeah.
I wanna know why we can't go, the city. It's,
It still would need another access point. Well, still, a road can, it has to, if it's over, I don't know how many feet, Josh, but you can answer this. It has to have the 2 points of access, not
you
just
had
one.
2 driveways there and you sold the property, correct?
I didn't have any driveways in there.
Who won the property that people?
That was the driveway to the house.
Right, that must what, and the other second, actually, there's 3 properties on there, or 3 roads on there. There's
Yeah.
one on St. Joe's,
Yep.
and there's 2 on McMillan. And I think there's an access, a fire access to the east of that, between that property and another property, if I'm not correct. Josh, is there?
I'm having trouble picturing where you mean, I guess.
Right next to Dave Ross's house. I live on St. Joe's, I'm sure when McMillan.
I'm saying on McMillan, there is an access for fire, what I was told.
Okay, so if I could get 2 access points out to McMillan Road, okay? How does that change the traffic pattern for what you're talking about, Doctor?
It changes, it has the potential to change the traffic pattern because then people are already on McMillan. Whether or not they take St. Joseph's is another issue, but at this point, the town of McMillan gets no tax base from those 17 lots, but the city of Marshfield does. And the city of Marshfield is refusing to do anything to help us with that, except for the fact that they're going to say, the first 5 years we can help out because there won't be any problem. We're going to rebuild that road. But then that road is going to take a beating by the 17 addition, actually by probably the 34 additional individuals that are going to be driving down there because all the access out of those lots is onto St. Joe's. And the people will take the most convenient route, which will be not to go through a couple stoplights to get to Walmart.
You know more about traffic than I do, I guess. I don't know.
No, I
that's
drive
the
that
case.
all the time because I live out north of
But
town.
I don't know that that's the case, and you.
Well,
I don't think you can. I don't think you can give me the evidence about it.
Don't treat the people up there like they're an idiot. You've been around here. You've lived here. You have a number of subdivisions here. You know exactly what it's about.
I'm going to agree to disagree that you know that that's the case. That's all I'm saying.
It's just obvious, but that's
So
okay.
if they're going to the
can-
Marshfield Clinic, do you think they're gonna go that way, or are they gonna go up? I'm just asking, where's the line of demarcation where traffic to this business is gonna go this way and traffic to this business is gonna go that way?
It's 0 today, right?
Zero extra
It
traffic?
is.
And it would be some percentage increase, correct?
Agreed.
Okay.
I live on St. Joe's, I go exactly the way he says. I go the other way up to Menards and all that.
Yeah.
I think the
And I live
concern
on
is,
St. Joe.
as board members, we're here to represent the best interests of our taxpayers. Our taxpayers do not get anything out of this.
Yeah.
So you're making an argument for, do this for us, why?
I'm making the argument that whether I put that development there or if I put a development on the west side of Marshfield, traffic that's going this way, according to him, is always gonna go down that way across those roads anyway.
I didn't make any always and never statement. I just said it was gonna do that, and you're gonna have to factor in
I
the.
apologize. I
So
apologize.
I'm not gonna go with the always never, I'm gonna say it's zero today,
Mhm.
and it'll be some number 0+ in the future. Agreed? We
I
can agree on
think
that.
every house I build anywhere near Marshfield is gonna increase the traffic on a town of McMillan Road.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And our taxpayers do not get anything out of that, correct? We still agree there.
Agreed.
So we get more traffic and we get nothing for it. Agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you.
So let me ask you this. Conversely, every house that's built in the town of McMillan is gonna increase the traffic in Marshfield, agreed?
That's where we do our,
Agreed.
that's where we do our.
Agreed or not agreed? I mean, this is,
I would have to agree with you on that because we do all our shopping in Marshfield as a rule. We
Right.
pay for the library.
so that's where I'm at with this. So I think every little thing that's built in McMillan affects the roads in Marshfield and vice versa, I would say.
Okay, now, if we give that portion of the road to Marshfield, we lose more. Okay, we get paid for it to have it fixed, plus we lose the GTA for it, correct?
I presented three options. One was, so right now, I'm sure you all know, the town of McMillan owns the entire 66-foot strip of St. Joe's from McMillan to Man Road. Now, if this subdivision were to happen, that'd be a city streets that the city would have to plow. So it made sense to me that the city could offer to plow McMillan to get to this subdivision. Plow them out and then we come back out. Currently, the city does not plow, we don't maintain it. The line is at McMillan Street. So one of the options was we would just keep it the way it is. You still have control over the right-of-way and access points and road maintenance, and you get your GTA and nothing would change. Another option I presented was that the city could purchase that right-of-way, or it gets transferred to the city of Marshfield. I'm not in favor of any one of these necessarily, I'm just presenting you with options.
Right.
So that would reduce your GTA, it would reduce your maintenance costs, because you don't have that quarter mile to maintain anymore. So that would be an option. It turns over all control of that right-of-way and that piece to the city. The city then could control access if the parcel on the east side of St. Joe's were ever annexed, it would be the cities to allow that access. I think, I gotta look what my third option was. I think we would just share in the maintenance costs of the roadway once it's built.
Yeah, that was option 3.
Does the city have a right of way for fire protection to the west there? Between that house and the other house there, there's an apron board right there where the property lines are.
That's not any sort of city right-of-way or easement, no. The next roadway to the west is Meadow Avenue that we talked
It
about.
was in between that, I thought there was a right of way.
No, not to the north. I think it's Wood or one of those goes, there is nothing to the north. There's no other access to the north.
If this would go through, when are you guys looking at putting the water in? Would be before we'd be getting our road done, or would we be digging up the road after you get it
I
done?
have no idea when you're doing the road, I don't.
Next year.
I mean, if I get it approved today, it would be this year. If it's not till November, it wouldn't be till next year. Obviously, I've got a lot of work to do before I get any approvals.
Are they running a full main down there, or just enough water to supply the 17 houses?
It's a full main loop around there.
You said you talked to City of Marshfield about annexing, where is that sitting at this point?
About annexing.
To McMillan? Is that still an
That's
option for you or not?
one of the many subjects that are floating out there, yeah. I mean, I don't know that the city would approve that. That being said, if the township's not gonna allow this particular layout of some 1 acre lots,
Where, that ain't gonna happen. I can't see them, that happening. I
Too
just
many
can't.
wells,
Huh?
too many wells.
Yeah.
And if it belongs to the township, then it does go back to the 2 acre lots according to our comp plan. And then it does individual wells and individual septics. So that would cut back on the houses a lot.
Well, the next question on that though is, with your last subdivision, there were supposed to be so many houses in there and everybody basically bought 2 lots. I mean, the way it looks for everything laid out for adjust, do you think the same thing's gonna happen in there?
well.
Or are you making provisions because?
This is the developer's agreement that I'm working out with the city of Marshall would be, no, that'd have to be 1 house per lot. No further combining. And that's the agreement with the city that we're still working through, but
How many total acres, Jim?
25.
25.
Meters.
25.
Parcel.
That's two parcels, there are 2 parcels there. Combined lot space is 25.
But you'd still have acreage for the roadway network going through there. If you're just trying to do the math, how many lots you can get, some of that 25.
Yeah,
The roadways.
that's the total space that I have.
And
how many lots
have you sold?
I can't sell any lots, they're not surveyed out yet.
What is gonna be the total runoff for water on that property?
The water runoff has all been engineered and approved by the DNR already.
Where is it running?
There's a retention pond.
When all the water's gonna run in that detention pond, right?
Yep.
Dave, do you recall, you and I were on the joint plan commission with the city of Marshfield, we tried to get some help fixing Man Road from the city? What was their answer?
Was
Exactly,
that Man Road or was that the one down off of E?
it was unmanned.
Well, there was issues with Zig Street down there too, where they were getting flooded out by the city of Marshfield
And
because
there
the
was-
water wasn't running, and then all of a sudden we got some engineers involved, and yeah, lo and behold, the water from the place was not running into the retention ponds, it was running
That was
to
at
a
our
ditch
place,
along the
is
side, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have, and, you know, we're all neighbors. We're all neighbors. My address is Marshall.
We fought with that apartment complex for many years to get the water straightened out.
Yeah, and finally it was alleviated pretty
No,
much.
But it took a long time.
It took a long time, right. And you and I sat on the joint plan commission, and that was when the annexation took place with Walmart, Menards, Quick Trip, you know, some of the Waggle property there.
I'll be the first to admit, I don't know how the engineering of that is done. I leave that to the engineers of the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So admittedly, I don't know
And I don't
the
either.
answers to that stuff.
Unfortunately, it gives us a sour taste when you start dealing with retention ponds,
Well,
because we've had
but
issues.
you also must, I mean, that was 15 or 20 years ago. Things aren't getting easier to get approved. I mean, every year it gets more and more difficult and more stringent on how that runoff water is detained. Would you agree, Josh?
Yeah, so like in this subdivision's case, the pond is there to contain any water that's excess runoff. Imagine you turn from a grass field to rooftops and roadway. The pond is there to contain that water and release it at no greater rate than it already is being released. So that's what that's there for. As part of the stormwater management permit that would have to be filed and approved by the city is the design of that pond and also a maintenance agreement with that pond. So
Yeah, it was the
it will be
same thing.
policed, once the pond is constructed, it will be policed.
Where is the runoff gonna be released to when it's an overflow?
B&H, B&H annexed that. It was the same way with B&H.
Yeah,
they-
right.
And Three Oaks and all those.
Mhm.
Sir, where is the water gonna be released to when the pond is full?
It gets released to the same place it goes right now, kind of to the north,
On
Right.
private,
Probably to the northwest, right?
on private property, right?
north central. We're not, this plan does not change the runoff direction. It goes where it's always gone.
Is that lying on private property?
That's where it goes today, yes.
Faster and more.
No,
Well, the
actually,
pond is
actually-
designed
it
to
actually
not
doesn't, it
release.
slows it down quite a bit.
The pond is there to make sure it's not being released at a greater, Right.
So you're creating another wetland when it overflows, correct?
pardon me?
You're gonna create another wetland when it overflows,
The same water is gonna go to the same place.
but you're gonna have more.
No, it's not supposed to run off any faster.
It's
than
designed to
previous
be-
Well,
development.
you're gonna have blacktop roads in there, obviously.
I understand that.
And
It's
blacktop
supposedly
roads increase
the
volume of water.
It's due diligence in creating that retention pond to correct that, right?
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah, the permit the city would have to review follows strictly, it's a city of Marshfield municipal code, but it's based almost entirely word for word on DNR stormwater regulations.
What's the distance between McMillan and Mulligan Street? Do you know that?
I don't know if I can read this. It might be 1,000 feet. Ish, I don't remember.
I can't remember.
And then how far from McMillan to the Greenside Circle? The
From
second,
McMillan to there or from
Yeah.
Mulligan to there?
from McMillan to the Greenside Circle.
That might be 1,200 feet maybe.
And not one of those driveways can go on McMillan.
I would have to re-engineer the subdivision. I'm not saying it couldn't, I don't know if the city would allow it as opposed to this, to the other intersection in there, or,
Ideally, it would line up with, I forget the name of the street, but there's a street that goes south. Ideally, it would line up with that. I don't know if that leaves you with a little sliver on either side that might be undevelopable. I mean, there's challenges to it, just like there's challenges to the way it's laid out now.
I think you might be talking about North Hills Avenue, maybe?
That, yeah.
yeah, I think that is it.
I would think it would be more efficient if you did have one more access and then you had one on, that'd be a compromise for everybody then.
What's that?
One more access onto McMillan, west of the LeGrander property, and one onto St. Joe's.
It still doesn't get our taxpayers anything.
Absolutely right, I agree. But I'm looking for a compromise and we're all still gonna be neighbors, whether we agree on this or not.
It takes away, right now, the way it's sitting, it takes away more from the township than what it gives.
Yep.
And subdivisions. Yep. Yep. Don't want to go somebody else.
One last thought, I can see we're not going very far here. If this were to go back into the town of Millen, and I put 4 or 5, 6, 7 acre lots, all coming out to St. Joseph's, is that a problem?
Depends what your plan looks like. We have to sit, it has to go through the county and the plan commission and us. So, we don't have a plan to make that
No,
determination.
I'm saying one house in there. If I sold 25 acres to somebody that wanted to build one house.
At this point, no, because again,
No, I'm saying if it's in the town of
if
McMillan.
it's in the town of McMillan, yeah, then you could build a house there.
And could I build 2 houses there? I'm trying to get to where I can go with this, you know?
Could you look at annexing half of it into the McMillan? And possibly,
The efficiency of that would be possible. I can't, 12 acres in the city of Marshfield, I don't see how I can make that work, you know.
Just a thought.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know that I want to go through this whole process with two separate entities,
I know.
you know.
I would say from my opinion, from a traffic perspective, I would think the two accesses to St. Joseph would provide you one conflict point at McMillan, which would be the intersection of St. Joe's and McMillan, rather than have an entrance on McMillan, people trying to get out of this subdivision, and people potentially trying to get on McMillan at St. Joseph Avenue. I think that would create a traffic mess, just from a logistical standpoint.
Is there a problem down by the condominiums?
Prairie Run,
Yeah. Does traffic come out of there?
that lines up directly across from Adams, I mean, that
Right,
helps.
that still empties out on McMillan Street. You still got traffic,
Right,
so is there a problem there?
I don't know if there's a problem there, I'm just looking from a traffic flow perspective, I think you,
Well, the traffic flows from that area onto McMillan also, so you got the same scenario.
It's much further away from
Yeah.
that intersection though. That intersection, I think, is what he's getting at, is it's fairly close to that intersection, that's quite,
But you
Yeah.
same got traffic flow, you got the same scenario, traffic flow. That's what we're talking about, is traffic flow.
I think we get a sense of what,
I'm sorry?
I think I'm getting a sense of what's possible and what's not possible, so. So, one last question. So if it stays in the city of Marshfield, that 25 acres, and I build myself one house on it with one driveway to St. Joseph's, that's a yes or that's a no?
That's a no. If it stays in the city of Marshfield, you're a resident of the city of Marshfield. Why would you want access to McMillan when and expect us to maintain the road for you?
Understood. Understood. It's One question, one house, one, you know.
Mhm. And you'd be able to go to McMillan, right? With one house?
But to your point, if you exited onto McMillan, you could always turn around to St. Joe's and drive down it. That would still be an option for you.
I hear all these arguments and I can't fault you for wanting to protect your own infrastructure. I also live outside of town, in the town of Lincoln. I'm not paying the city of Marshfield to use their streets. Nobody from the town of McMillan is paying the city of Marshfield to maintain their streets. I think that, I'm not sure why that's not being looked at in both directions.
Because it's not the same. The volume of traffic that is going to be pointed directly onto something that we have to maintain, with which we get nothing back from. You could live in Wisconsin Rapids and make the same argument. That's a foolish argument.
Well, I don't know if we have to say foolish, we call them foolish, that's not fair.
It is a foolish argument.
Well,
What are we going
I don't
to,
think
that's just a
comparing-
descriptor.
I think it's foolish to compare Rapids traffic with the town of Lincoln and town of McMillan Marshall traffic. It's not the same thing. It's not the same argument. That's a foolish argument, sir.
I'm sorry.
Madison, what about New Haven, Connecticut? You can make that same argument, it's not the same thing. It's very, very, very different.
You're right, it is, because we would get a hell of a lot more traffic from your subdivision than what we would from Rapids.
Fair enough, I'm just saying, it is not the same comparison though. Deb.
I know.
Do you have to have 2 entry points?
Yeah,
Because of the amount of houses, is that basically what you're looking at?
fire department, you have to have more than one
Okay.
entry.
Because you're putting 17 houses in there, you have to
Yeah,
have.
for example, Meadow Street, I don't think would be allowed anytime soon as a cul-de-sac anymore. Was it 700 feet maximum length? That's the maximum length for a cul-de-sac street, I believe, something like that. So rules, that was a long time ago, rules have changed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that was, Meadow was probably in there maybe before the clinic or hospital moved up.
It's been there about 60 years.
Yeah.
Most of those cul-de-sac lengths are dictated by National Fire Protection.
NFPA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I have a little experience in the fire department, which would make traffic, well, you're gonna have a hydrant there though. It isn't like we got a tanker of water,
Right, there'll be fire protection the way it's designed.
right? So, were you lobbied by the fire department?
Oh, yeah,
You were.
absolutely, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right.
You mean, was the fire department pushing for city water in there? Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they relaxed the sanitary requirements, just given the kind of look and feel of the neighborhood, but fire protection was very important.
As it is in all subdivisions.
Yep.
Yeah. Or even if it's out in the hinterlands. We're just more challenged in our city where you can hook up to a hydrant.
Well, there's plenty of areas in the city that are not served by public water. That's
Yeah.
been a concern. This subdivision happens to be near enough that it's
Close
logistically easy enough to do. There's a cost to it, but
Yeah.
it's available.
I got a question for Josh. I missed part of the meeting, but why don't you look at the city sewer then? I mean, it's annexed.
That wasn't explicit, I don't know, maybe you got here after I explained that, but it's nearly impossible because of the gravity flow, and it would be 35 feet in the ground, and it would have to go across Meadow Avenue through private properties to get to Prairie Run.
You could run it out.
No,
McMillan out.
it wouldn't, no, not uphill.
The way the lay of the land is and the existing
It's
sewer.
one of my first sewer jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate
All
it.
right, Jeff.
Thank you.
We need a motion to adjourn.
Yes, we do.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're done with one meeting.